So Congress voted to release the Epstein files, and now the bill is on Trump's desk alongside a Diet Coke, a nameplate that says world's best president, and a photo of his favorite talk show host. Yeah. The Senate voted unanimously, and the House 427-1, which means one guy is having an awkward day. I think we have a picture of the holdouts. Now, so unlike Ilhan Omar's wedding pictures, these documents are going to be public. But what does this vote really mean, besides a few people suddenly booking one-way flights to Cuba? Democrat Rep. Stacey Plaskett may just have given us a preview. She was caught colluding with Epstein to hurt Trump during a hearing, and she's still on the House Intel Committee. Well, that's probably a coincidence, like when I'm always clearing my browser history before my wife comes home. But watch as one lying dope tries to play down her crimes.
They want to give them another headline, which is that they've arraigned a Democratic member for taking a phone call from her constituent, Jeffrey Epstein, in the middle of a hearing. And of course, I don't think there's any rule here against taking phone calls in a hearing.
Oh, okay. So Jeffrey Epstein was her constituent. That's like calling OJ your marriage counselor. Whoa. But there's more, because the great thing about Dems, their plans for Trump always blow up in their faces, or pants. Like when Schumer was asked why we didn't hear about the files when Biden was in office. His answer is pure idiot gold.
Why wouldn't they have been released the last 4 years when President Biden was in office?
Well, that's the question every American is asking. Not every American, but so many Americans are asking. What the hell is he hiding?
Seems like he answered a totally different question. Still, just like the Russian collusion hoax, some think it could spell the end of Trump.
His body language is so extraordinary. I wonder if this is the event, the kind of singularity or the apex kind of predator, and that is people start fleeing from him.
I think this, I don't know. I feel like we're going to have President J.D. Vance by the end of 2026. I get it, but he is the vice president.
You think this ends his presidency prematurely?
Yes. He'll be sick. He'll be yeah. I do. I think he's not going to make it to the end.
Be careful.
My God, those two combined couldn't make one brain. And what did he say? He said singularity, apex predator in the same sentence. They don't even mean the same thing, you weirdo. I'm thinking this prediction will age worse than that Bruce Jenner book, I Will Never Become a Woman. Okay. He's basing this on body language. These are the same people who somehow miss Joe Biden's body language. He tumbled down 2 flights of stairs and they'd call it rhythmic gymnastics. But already the Dems must have regrets. Obama official Larry Summers says he's leaving the public eye after emails revealed he took advice from Epstein on picking up chicks. What's next for him? Getting travel tips from the 9/11 hijackers? I knew it would hit. Hakeem Jeffries now must explain why he begged for money from Epstein after being convicted as a sex offender. And Jasmine Crockett actually claimed Lee Zeldin received money from Jeffrey Epstein, neglecting to point out it's a different Jeffrey Epstein. But Crockett's deliberate error points out the risk of this document dump. It's not about the emails, it's about what the Dems and the media will do with them, as they happily put the guiltless in the crosshairs. People will be punished for their proximity, like a small village when Joy Behar does a cannonball. Now, oh, thank you. If this were a real Trump scandal, you would have gotten him already. It's the Dems who should worry. And do you think the Dems or the media hold any credibility after the Joe Biden cover-up or the collusion hoax, which flooded the zone with absurd rumors? The media ate it up, telling us daily that the walls are closing in. And it turned out to be nothing. So remember who you're dealing with. It's why people elected Trump the most transparent president in history. He holds more press conferences than James Carville sheds skins. Trump made releasing these files part of his campaign. And one thing is clear, the public wants sunlight, which could mean a rainy day for Democrats. Up next, Crockett's crap.
She's #1 at being dumb, the new face of the DNC. Gather round, cause that's our Jazzy.
Yeah, baby. I love her. She had a BS excuse for playing fast and loose earlier this week. Jasmine Crockett rattled off a list of Republicans supposedly linked to Jeffrey Epstein, including Lee Zeldin. But no, he didn't receive money from the billionaire pedo. It was a different Epstein, a doctor who donated to cash. But when CNN asked Jazzy to correct the record, this is how she spun it.
I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein, just so that people understand when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled, and that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was, it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people.
Oh, my God.
I keep waiting for her after that to say, no, officer, you can't look in my purse. So you didn't try to mislead us when you originally said somebody named Jeffrey Epstein. Who did you expect us to think you were talking about? Jeffrey Epstein, the podiatrist? Jeffrey Epstein, the elderly Florida nudist? Jeffrey Epstein, the male stripper who owes me money? Now, my crack staff didn't take this laying down. They actually got on the FEC website. Perhaps Democrats would now like to explain taking donations from Richard Ramirez, Ted Bundy, or even worse, Chris Wallace. It's a joke. He doesn't watch. But I get it. People share the same names. Why, I remember the time my wife said she wanted meatloaf for dinner and I brought home this singer. I had to stay in a hotel that night. Then she ordered it the next night. Jamie. She's not even trying to be persuasive. She's basically daring. She knows that she can get away with it.
Yeah, she's so full of By the way, I remember that thing with your wife, and you told me she actually did mean the singer. She did that right. You know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for Jeffrey Epstein, the doctor. Like, she knew what she was doing, obviously, but there's a guy out there, an actual doctor, named, shouldn't she go at least Jeff Epstein?
Yeah.
Instead of Jeffrey, or Jeffrey, not the human trafficker Epstein?
Yeah.
Not the, you're right, though, the context tells you what it is. Like, if I said to you, like, oh, I love having child predators over at my house. And you're like, why would you say that? And I'm like, no, of course I meant kids dressed as predator for Halloween.
Yes.
I was at a hotel in Anchorage, Alaska this weekend, and when I checked in, there was a little note, and it said something like next to the bed. It said, "Jesus is watching you." And I was like, oh, I think it's like a religious themed hotel. And as I was checking out, the valet's name was Jesus. And I go, you guys know what you're doing, you know?
But that's the same issue. There's a lot of people named Jesus.
Yeah, and if I had a bracelet that said, what would Jesus do? I guess I'd park a car.
Kat, and then she did that great thing where she blamed her team. Oh, my team did the research.
Yeah, you never do that.
No.
He's blaming them right now.
Yeah, exactly. he's drafting the email in his head.
All right, what's your answer?
Look, do you remember when, wasn't it Colbert that Caitlin Collins was on, and she was shocked, everyone laughed when they said CNN was a real news channel?
Yeah.
When they were talking about this, they were kind of laughing about it. Like, this is not a serious thing. And you think that with her answer, you might have had just like a little bit, as a journalist, of pushback.
Yeah.
Like, do you not think why people might have potentially thought they did know the Jeffrey Epstein that you were talking about? Like, there should have been some more pushback there, because of course, when we're all talking about Epstein, listen, this has been weeks of this, talking about this every day, and you say, oh, this guy took money from Epstein. Well, I never said it was that. Shut up. Even you don't believe that. I don't know how you get up, you sit there, you get your hair and makeup done, you are fully prepared, and you just sit there and say this stuff. And it's because she can.
Yeah, no, I think she can say whatever she wants in that, and it could be as you're immune from being sued or anything in that situation, Tyrus. So that's why, in a weird way, when we're doing, like, I was doing this segment on the 5, I'm going like, why are we even arguing this? We know she knows what she was doing.
She should have said, do you think I'm insane or do you think I'm stupid? Like, she should have gone really hard against something like that. If I was the journalist in that situation, I would have been personally insulted by that, and I would have let my reaction reflect that.
Tyrus? What do you think?
Well, when you talk stupid fast, it's hard for normal people to respond. I think we got to almost, and trust me, you all know the last thing I want to do is give a journalist a break. But when someone says something as stupid and retarded as she did, I think this is a natural reaction.
Yeah.
And by the time you go to ask the question, you got to go to a commercial because you just had 30 seconds of did she just say? Did she really say that? No one's this stupid. Listen, and it's weird because she's gotten worse ever since she added the extra 5 pounds of hair.
Yeah.
She's gotten, ever since she added the ponytail, how many horses had to die for that?
Yeah.
And then you have to come out and besmirch their life dreams with saying some stupid that if your 3-year-old tried to lie to you like that, you would walk their little ass back to preschool and be like, you need to reteach. You should have heard this just came out of it. He can't put one lie together. Like, this is one of the dumbest people to ever figure out how to tie Velcro shoes. She is a dumb person. Like, she just says because she acts mad when she says it. Nobody bothers to ask her another question for fear of what could come out next. You outdid Kamala. That's hard to do, boo.
Yeah.
We have literally been unburdened by what has been thanks to Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah. What do you think her point was if she knew that this was going to be an obviously exposed, ridiculous lie? What was she trying to do? Can we figure that? Is maybe nothing?
I'm starting to think that she really is a little bit stupid. You know, there's a great book out by Senator John Kennedy right now. It's called How to Test Negative for Stupid. And Jasmine just tested positive again. I honestly think when she said we only had 20 minutes to prepare, and so we Googled.
Yeah.
This drove me insane because I can't tell you how many times as a reporter I had like 30 seconds to find something out. And if you couldn't find it out or you couldn't verify it, you didn't go with it. You didn't say it. You didn't do something that stupid. So I'm thinking that her staff really did a disservice to her and she has a reason to ream them, or she's just stupid for hiring that staff. All of it comes down to just stupid.
Yes.
I can't.
All I know is I would hate to have the same name as somebody famous or infamous. I remember I dated this girl, Taylor Swift. And, no, that was actually the Taylor Swift, and she would complain often about the obscure Taylor Swifts that were better looking than her, which were all of them.
Think about all the Jasmine Crockett's out there.
Yeah.
I know there's a registered nurse in Charleston. I looked it up on LinkedIn whose name is Jasmine Crockett. I'm so sorry for her.
Wow. I wonder if Jasmine Crockett is her real name. Maybe it's Sunny Crockett.
I know it's not her real hair.
All right.